Guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my beautiful face. If you're a new subscriber here, thanks for coming. And all returning subscribers, I love you. I'll try and make this video as short as possible. The story I'm about to tell is about my first heartbreak. I can't talk about it now because I am healed, and it was a whole lot when this thing happened as of 2021, I believe. It was a whole lot for me then to process. I thought I would die. I honestly thought I would die. That heartbreak did something to me. Like, it changed me. In a good way. It changed me completely. And now that I'm all over, over it, I just want to share with my viewers. So I was from this family where we're told not to go into a relationship until we're ready to get married. You're not to date, you're not to see anybody. You're not even supposed to make calls. Like, it was that strict. Do you understand? It was that strict. So my 100 level, my 200 level, my 300 level, I was just focused on God, going to class, going to lectures, going to church. Church had like 50%. It was actually over 50%, but let's just leave it like that because I was extreme. When it comes to going to church, I was extreme. I wasn't balanced at all. So I loved God genuinely. In my 300 level, I went to this revival group and I continued. We used to meet every day. We used to pray every day. And with time, I don't know, but I got really close to the pastor. I didn't bring myself to him. Do you understand? It just happened. It wasn't like probably I was admiring him or something. We just happened to be very close to each other. And my focus was just God. But we got really close and we had a liking for each other. I would put it that way. We had a liking for each other. It was my duty to cook his meal. So every day, I wouldn't say every day, but 90% of the time, I was cooking his meals. Do you understand? So I was cooking his meals. I wasn't complaining. I was doing it joyfully because I felt this is a man of God and I love God. He's pouring into us. There is nothing wrong in pouring into him. I really had no reservations. So we continued in the fellowship. We're meeting every day. It was a revival fellowship. And at some point, I began to interact with other people. There were other people that were really interested in me at that point. They loved me genuinely. I knew those people loved me genuinely, but my pastor would tell me that those people just want to take me away from God. They want to take me away. They want to destroy my life. So whenever someone shows this interest in me, I'll tell my pastor. I have to tell him because that was the rule of the church, of the fellowship. You have to tell your pastor. When someone is interested in you, you have to tell your pastor. So I'll tell my pastor, this person is interested in me. He'll tell me, no, Patience, God doesn't want you to be in a relationship now. God needs you to focus. If you go into this relationship, you will miss what God has in store for you. And I just believe that we got really close, like I said. But there was no form of sexual relationship between us. There was no kissing. There was no even hugging. So when I look back to today, although I was very hurt for the disappointment and the manipulation, but I am still grateful. I can't say he is not genuine, although he manipulated me. But I have no anger towards him because he did not take advantage of me sexually. So it's actually more easy for me to let everything go. And when we continued, at some point he told me that God wanted us to be together for a long time. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, God wants us to be together. You know what that means? He was citing examples, calling examples of the Daddy Jills, some of the Mommy Jills we know. That's how God wants us to be. And I was like, oh, no problem. I love God and I have no I have no reservation working in the vineyard of God. If you believe God wants us to be together, it's fine with me. So he told me clearly not to be in any relationship with any other person. So now, he was not in a relationship with me, but he said I should not be in any relationship with anybody. That sometimes in the future, we are going to end up together. So I agreed. It was a very toxic connection because it interrupted my relationship with my family. I was unable to go home. When we have like holidays, we have Christmas breaks, I would not go home because according to him, when you go home, you are going to probably lose something. You are going to lose something. What God is trying to do in your life might get lost. You are supposed to show God you are very intentional. You are supposed to show God that he can trust you. So I was not going home to my parents. I was not going home to my mom. I was not going home to my dad. It caused a lot of problem in my family. My dad was wondering, what's wrong with this girl? Why are you not coming home? I was not coming home because my pastor said God does not want me to come home. I was doing that in obedience to my pastor, and also because it made me believe that if I go home, I was going to lose something from God. The devil is going to steal something from my life. So I just had to be up and doing this. So it wasn't only me. A lot of people too in that group were actually living their life that way because our pastor said that. So we got really close. Like I said, once in a while, he asked me, "Are you talking to this person? Are you talking to this person? I asked you not to talk to this one. I asked you not to talk to this one." So it was actually the center of my world. We see every day. We're going to church every day. So it was the center of my world, and I was already very emotionally involved. And he would call me once in a while, "Patience, are you sure you are ready for this journey? Are you sure you are ready for this journey?" Sorry, a call came in. So I could remember days he would call me and he would be like, "Patience, what I'm about to say to you, I've not said it to any lady before. I've never felt the way I felt with any lady before. I really like you. I know it feels somehow saying this. I know it feels somehow saying this, but are you sure you are ready for this journey for us to be together?" So, like, naive me, I didn't know anything. I was innocent. I was genuinely innocent. I didn't know anything, and I didn't want to hurt my pastor because my pastor told me that God wants us to end up together in the future. That's like get married. So I didn't want to hurt the man of God. You understand? So everybody that was interested in me, I literally told them, "No, God said I should not be in a relationship. Everything is God said that. God said that. God said that." My sister at some point was telling me that this man likes you. This man, I was even lying. I was like, "No, he doesn't like me. He's a man of God. Don't accuse him. Don't do this. Don't do this." Guys, deep down I knew he liked me, but I didn't want anybody to know. I just want everybody to see him as the man of God he is. And genuinely, like I said, he's a man of God. I'm not doubting the facts. He never the way other men of God behave. He's a man of God. I am just saying my own story. So I am not disputing the fact that he's a man of God. I respect him. I'm just saying my own heartbreak story. So it continued like that. And there are other parts I wouldn't want to talk about. But there was no balance in my life, in the life of every other person that were attending that fellowship together. We're praying every day. So even if you have exam or you don't have exam or you must appear, you must pray. A lot of people were not reading their books. How I managed to pass my exams and graduated with my mates is still a miracle till today. If that man did not break my heart, I would not have graduated from UNM. I honestly would have had like 2 extra years or maybe 3 extra years. And I am very honest. People that know me in UNM will know that I am saying the truth. It was when it broke my heart, my eyes opened. I started reading. That semester, it broke my heart. I had I think probably a 4.5 CGPA. I'm grateful to God, although it was painful. So this man continued like that. He told me, like I said, I cannot be in a relationship with anybody. I just have to focus on him, focus on the work of God. And like I told you guys, I was in charge of cooking for him every day. I and 2 other ladies were cooking for him every day. So that was our own duty. Even days that I would have nothing to eat, I would still cook because the man of God has to eat. I am not saying this now out of pain, honestly. I don't feel like I lost. The only pain was my heart that was shattered. That's the only pain. The food, I am not angry over the food. I'm not angry over everything I gave because everything I gave already came back to me. You don't have to always reap from where you sow, but definitely you are going to sow. You are going to reap. So everything I gave did not affect me. It was just the heartbreak. So this man continued that way after isolating me from everybody, isolating me from my parents, isolating me from my siblings. Because like I said, I can't go home. My dad were always having back and forth. Patients come home, I'll say, "Daddy, God said I should not come home." Because actually my pastor said I did not want to offend him. Suddenly in my 400 level, yeah, I think it lasted for like 2 years. This all going to church, praying every day, missing lectures. It lasted for like 2 years. There was this ASU strike that lasted for about a year. So it gave us more opportunity. That ASU strike that lasted over almost a year or probably 8 months. I was not at home. We were in school praying, 40 days fasting and prayer, 12 hours praying. Like that, we were always praying. So we had time to be seen, and I was in love because he told me to, he loved me. Yes, he actually told me he loved me. And innocent me, I was already imagining the future with the Daddy Gio because he really painted a very big picture in my head. So suddenly, out of the blues, he just started avoiding me. Like I said, he said, "In this, we need to be holy, maintain distance." So I wasn't going to his house. Wasn't coming to my house. I was staying in the hostel. Do you understand? That's why I'm not so angry. He never took advantage of me in any sexual way, but he just started giving me some distance. And I didn't know this distance was because he was planning to relocate out of Nsukka. So literally what happened was that after using me, when I say use, in the ministry then, I was very committed. Honestly, I was committed. If you want to point to one person, 3 people, or 3 persons, I would definitely be among those 3. I was so committed. So after using me, I was very foolish, honestly, because I had lots of carryovers. I had lots of carryovers throughout that period of this fellowship. I had lots of carryovers. Like A very embarrassing number of carryovers. I don't even want to talk here. When he knew that he was about to leave Nsukka, he was going to be relocating, he just started giving me the distance. I was wondering, what's going on? My heart started beating. Have I done something wrong? Is God angry with me? Suddenly, he said, God said this one again. God said, I just had to be respecting everything because it was God said, God said. Meanwhile, this was pure manipulation. I don't want to call any tribe, so it wouldn't look like but this was clearly manipulation, and that was my pain. Because all this while he was saying God said, it wasn't God. It was just a way of manipulating me. And suddenly he just relocated out of Nsukka without telling me anything. Now remember I told you that as of this time we're going to the fellowship, and he told me God wanted us to be together. Once in a while he will call me, he will talk, he will ask me, am I talking to anybody? I'll say no, no, man of God, it's just you. I'm not talking to anybody. I've stopped talking to this one. You asked me not to talk to this one. I'm not talking to this one. Few days, let's say like a week before he relocated out of Nsukka, he called me, not even physically, he called me on phone. This was like I said, after 2 years of being together in God. He called me on phone about like an hour call, and he said, Patience, remember this person you told me was interested in you? I said, yes, sir. He said, do you like him? I was like, sir, I liked him, but he told me that it's not the will of God, that it's the devil that sent him to my life to destroy me, so I am not talking to him anymore. And I said, what about this one you told me about? I said, sir, like I said, I respected your decision. I respected what you said. You said I should not be involved with any one of them, that the devil sent them to my life. So he now said, if you love them, I think God is giving his permission now. This was crazy because this was like a year after those individuals asked me out. A year later, they are now telling me that those people that have asked me out for over a year should go back now because God is now giving his permission. Meanwhile, it was simply because he wanted to leave Nsukka. So like he was done with me. There was no need for me again. And that was how he left. He left Nsukka without even informing me. And that was like I was shattered. I could remember days I would be crying for like 12 hours stretch. I couldn't tell anybody, like I said, I couldn't tell anybody in the fellowship because I didn't want them to have a bad opinion about him. Do you understand? I didn't want them to see him in a different light. I didn't want them to think that this man told me he loved me. He has never felt. I just wanted them to see him like that respectable man of God. So even when I was mourning, even when I was crying, I couldn't tell anybody that this man has broken my heart. This man that told me that we're going to be together forever. For a very long time, this man has just left like I meant nothing. I was crying. That period, I just picked up myself. As of this point, I already had 10. Guys, I already had 10 carryovers. What's there? I'll say it. I already had 10 carryovers in my 400 level, and I had 1 year to go. Imagine writing 10 carryovers in the space of a year. It was sad. But the anger in me, I just channeled it to my academics. I started studying. God was merciful to me. I cleared the 10 carryovers, first semester, second semester, and I still wrote my final year courses, and I graduated with my sets. If this one had not done what he did, God knows that I would have had at least 2 extra years. Because he never really cared about our academics. Honestly, he never really cared. He would just tell us, pray, pray, pray. God will do it. Pray, pray, pray. God will settle your academic. Angels will take over. Like, how? How? A lot of people were failing in the group. A lot of people were failing. Trust me. Very intelligent people were failing. Some had to drop out. Some had to start over. Some had extra years. Like, it was bloody. People see. It was just like a group of carryovers. It was that bad. It was that bad. And do you believe that when this man left, he just acted like I never mattered? I was like, this is a man of God that I even disobeyed my father. I disobeyed my mother. I'll be like, Daddy, you don't understand. This is what God is saying. I need to like, I was wondering why I entrusted my destiny into the hands of a man. I was wondering why I entrusted my destiny, and then he could just treat me like that. It's not like he owed me anything. Even if we do not have a future together, it's okay to say, Patience, I want to leave Nsukka now. I'm sorry, we can't be together. Do you understand? Than just ghosting. You understand? Treating me like I never existed. This is me that once my dad sends me money, I don't even think about myself. There are days I drank just Gary. I was drinking back to back Gary because the man